Hello teachers! Today we'll be using an instructional video to help students bookmark a website to their home screen, as well as lock the iPad onto a specific website where students only have access to that website. We'll be using the online testing functionality in Aware in order to show you this. On the left side of my screen, the blue screen, is iOS 6, the old iOS. Many of our students still have that version on their iPads. On the right side, the pink side of the screen, that's the iOS 7, the newer version that most of our students have on their iPads. We're going to start on both iPads by bookmarking the website we'll be using for the day. This is something you would have your students do. You would not have to actually do this on each iPad. So on both iPads, we're going to open Safari, and we're going to go to the LISD online testing site. This is https://pdas.lisd.net/aware/online testing. I'll give you a second to see that on my right screen. And this is something you would have your kids do. They go ahead and open up the website for you. Make sure there's no www. It's just pdos.lisd.net/aware/online testing. Once your students get to this screen, we want to have them bookmark this website they're going to be using often on their home screen. So what we're looking for is this box with an arrow to the left of the address bar. On iOS 6, it will pull up a screen like this. I touch Add to Home Screen, and I told my students to change this to the words Online Testing because this is creating an app icon on their home screen. This tells them what it is. This is their online testing. And touch Add. On the right, again in iOS 7, box with an arrow. Looks a little different. I'm going to Add to Home Screen. And on the top is where I change that text to Online Testing. And click Add. So you can see on both iPads, either iOS, it's got an online testing and it looks like an app, but this will just take them straight to the website. They can delete it just like you would delete an app. So, once my students have come in the room for the test or for whatever activity we're doing for the day, I'm going to have them all go to Settings. All my students go to Settings, iOS 6, iOS 7. They're always going to start out in General, and so we want to be sure we're in General, and we're looking for Accessibility. On iOS 6, it's down here all the way at the bottom. And on iOS 7, it's right up here towards the top. We're looking for guided access. Right here, iOS 7 under Learning. I'm sorry, that was iOS 6. And then iOS 7 over here under Learning, it's more towards the bottom. All you want your students to do is just turn on the guided access. You can see I've already turned them on here. But you would just slide it over and turn on guided access, and over here you would want to make sure that was green. You would not want them to set a passcode. Now it's very important if they're in iOS 6, it has this option over here to enable the screen sleep. You want to have that on so that they can put their iPad to sleep when they're not using it. That's the end of what my students would be doing on their iPads. From here, if I'm testing that day maybe, while my kids are testing, I'd be walking around and getting their iPad set for them to bubble online. The point of this is I want them to only be able to go to that website, nothing else on their iPad, and I don't want them to be able to take a screenshot or capture the screen in a picture of the Scantron and then text it to someone or email it to someone or post it on Twitter. I want to be able to protect the integrity of my test. So while my students are testing, I walk around to their iPads. I'll do it on iOS 6 first. I open their icon that says Online Testing. And to get to guided practice or get to the guided access, I have to triple click the home button. The button at the very bottom of the screen in the middle, I'd click it 3 times. and it opens up a screen that looks like this. I want to turn off the motion so it keeps the screen oriented the way it's oriented right now. Touch stays on, hardware buttons are always off. And I draw a circle using my finger around this top part of the screen. See how it grayed it out? That means my students, when I start on guided access, they won't be able to change the web address, they won't be able to go to different tabs. All they'll be able to do is be on this website. When I click Start in the top right, it asks me for a passcode. Pick something that's hard for the kids to figure out. Probably 1111 was not the best option for me today. So it says guided access started. I know you can't see this, but I'm touching around up there at the top. I can't do anything, but I could put in my student ID number and the password, and I could bubble my Scantron. So let's get that set up over here on the right on iOS 7. Same thing, I'm going to go to the student iPad and go to online testing. Remember we said we would do what? Triple click, that's right, the home button. 1, 2, 3. It looks like this, it's a little different. Sorry, I had the gray box on already. So here, this is a little different. Uh-oh. Gotta love Air Server. Let me get my iPad back up. Here we are, we're back in business. Okay, it looks a little different. All right. So I'm going to triple click that home button again. 1, 2, 3. And this is where it's a little different. I want to make sure to turn the motion off again. But on hardware buttons over here, I'm going to touch options. I want to turn on the wake and sleep button. I want them to be able to sleep their iPad to turn off the screen. So once I've got that turned to on, I can touch off of there. And just like before, I'm going to circle this area I don't want them to be able to get to and click Start. And I'm going to pick a passcode. Mine ends up getting changed every test because my students end up seeing me take this off the passcode. Alright, we just had to do a little switcheroo because of Air Server. So on the left, now we're on iOS 7. On the right, it's iOS 6. So old on the right, new on the left. Okay, so while my students are doing this, they can't get to any other websites. They can't go to different tabs. If I click on my home button, it says up here at the top, guided access is enabled. Triple click to exit. But if the student tries to exit and puts in the wrong code, it makes them wait longer and longer to get to try a code again. So they can't get out of there. I'm going to try to take a screenshot real quick with my home button and my power button. I tried to, and it said that guided access was enabled again. It did not let me take a screen capture. So once my students have bubbled their Scantron, I'm going to want to turn this off for them. So what they do is they bring their test to me, and as they hand it in, I take their iPad, I triple click the home button, and enter the passcode again. And touch End in the top left. It says guided access has ended. Let's try that over here on the right on iOS 6, the old iOS. I'm going to triple click the home button. 1, 2, 3. Enter my passcode. And top left, touch End. I personally like to go back to their settings and turn off guided access for them, just so they don't accidentally get their iPad stuck in guided access, so that I have control over that. So that's it. You can do this with any website. It's not just testing, but it's nice to have that option when they are bubbling their Scantrons online. Good luck!